Hi, I am here with Joe motherfucking Leste from Bang Tango. 80's in the park. Great fest. It should be called Mud in the Park. That's another story. Now, bro, I've been listening to you since fucking Psycho Cafe. And
I'm really gonna bum you out right now. It's Leste, Joe Leste, not Leste.
Joe Leste, as we have just edited in, has been my boy since the late 80's. First thing I want to ask you is, back in the day when you guys were coming out of San Diego, right?
Yep.
And then you were trying to break into the clubs in LA, and some articles I read was talking about the whole pay-for-play thing. And from what I heard, though, you guys never did that.
No, because when I got there to LA and I first got there, I couldn't understand why musicians would work hard and then pay the money to rehearse and do everything, and then they would hire the entertainment and ask us to pay them to be able to play. And to me, that made no sense. And I'll be honest with you, there was a company, a woman called Nelly Productions in Hollywood, and she was well known for making everybody pay to play. And I figured the only way to do that was to be really good and rise up above. So what I figured was, if we're good enough, she'll be paying us. And that's what we did, you know.
So you guys were able to build a following anyway.
Exactly, you know, and we turned it around. I didn't really ever feel that way about that. It goes back, to be honest with you, it goes back to like Janie from Warrant. He taught me a lot, and you got a lot of like really cool bands, Guns N' Roses, you know, people that broke out of that scene. And they never did that because they were like feeling like, hey man, not like we're above that, but it's more like, you know, we're good. We do what we do. We work hard for what we do. Why don't you give back to us, you know, a little bit to be able to pay for our rehearsal studios? And, you know, these guys, you know, they strings, this stuff costs money. You know what I mean?
If you build it, they will come.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, so how did the original five of you get together? I mean, were you high school buddies or what?
No. Actually, the band Orgy had Amir DeRock was my buddy, and I tried out for his band, and I didn't get the gig. I was number 2 out of 80 guys. I got the second spot, but when I was back in San Diego, he told Mark Knight, the original guitar player, hey, this guy, you know, you might want to check him out. Well, I came up, they were named a different band, and I reconfigured everything and changed the music, and very fortunately for me, I had great, amazing musicians, and I still do. I have great guys, and I've been very fortunate in life with good musicians, you know, the great guys I have played with. But it's very, you know, like I said, I made some changes and created the Bang Tango sound.
I'm a bass player, and I came up learning Kyle's bass line.
Kyle, wow.
Where'd you meet that dude?
That dude is just like, he's what I call an anomaly. He's an anomaly. That guy can play like nobody else. I mean, he's amazing. And I didn't realize, but the crazy part was I knew a drummer in San Diego that if I connected those two guys together, you would have Rush pretty much, you know what I mean? And I did that with Tig and Kyle, but Kyle, I mean, he's on, you can't even speak about it. The guy is amazing. Best bass player, bar none, you know. And I have Lance, I've been with Lance for over 10 years, and he's a fan of Kyle's. Lance isn't that style at all, and he came to me and he told me from the get-go, that's not my style. But Kyle appreciates like 8th notes and you know, straightforward stuff too. You know, he finds that very amazing. But Kyle's got the ability, you know, it's a bar none. I mean, you know, I don't think there's a better bass player out in the world right now as that guy, really, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was funny back in the late 80's, you know, when I was coming up, I first started playing with the pick, like Lance does now.
Yeah.
You know, and then once I got
Geezer Butler, dude, ain't no thing.
Yeah, Nicky Six, Duff McKagan.
Nicky Six, yeah.
once I got turned on to Kyle, though, that's when I started putting down the pick and started slapping. And people would say, "Oh, are you into Flea?" I'm like, "No, fuck Flea. It's Kyle."
Yeah, well, you know what? Flea met. I was there when Flea met, or Kyle and Flea met, and you know what Flea's said? He had a newborn baby, and he handed me his newborn baby, and I'm holding his baby, and he goes, "I just want to meet Kyle."
Wow.
And so did Les Claypool. Kyle is the most probably underrated bass player in the world, in my opinion. He's just amazing. You know, he's really great, very creative, kind of in a strange way, but it's just like he's really good. He's a great bass player. I mean, the guy's. He deserves everything that he gets, and hopefully that's immense fortune.
All right, now, as a fan of you guys, listening to the difference between the first record and the second record, sonically it seemed to take a big jump. Also, your vocals seem to get a lot more produced. Is that something that you consciously decided to do, or was that the work of a producer?
No, it was more of... I've been trying to grow in the ability of singing, in a sense, you know, and grow as a person. And with, you know, a very fortunate thing with the producers I've worked with, aside from maybe one, I don't know, but, you know, I'm not very proud of maybe one album, but the rest of it, the guys I've worked with are amazing. They pulled Joe out of Joe, you know what I mean? And that's a big point, you know. I mean, Howard Benson's, you know, you can't talk about him. That guy's God. He knows how to get to Joe. He knows how to push my buttons. I hope to God I get to work with him someday again. But you know, I've just been very fortunate. I mean, these guys pulled Joe out of Joe. I don't know what to tell you there.
Right. That's what a producer is supposed to do.
Yeah.
Bring out your
and every one of them are just been phenomenal, you know.
Well, your last album, I love the track, My Girlfriend's Got a Dick in the System.
Dick in the System, yeah. Well,
are the current players we saw today, are they the studio musicians that were on that?
Yeah, same guys. Oh no! Wait a minute. I got Rowan now. That's right.
Rowan. Was a Dio, wasn't he?
Yeah, he did the some Pack of Wolves or something, and he did Ronnie James Dio's album, and Rowan and I met when he was 18 years old. And I felt pretty cool about myself because I was doing really good on the charts.
Right.
And I told him who I was, and he looked at me and goes, "Well, I'm 18, I play guitar for Ronnie James Dio." And I looked at him and I go, "Well, how about fuck you?" You know, but I've been very fortunate.
Yeah, but it takes a player of that talent to be able to do the twin guitar parts, which is one guy.
Well, you know, the last guy we had could do it too. You know, it's just like, it's a strange thing in music, you know. You can get a guitar player that can blow people's minds with everything he can do, but then his attitude and his mind, it's not about being an ego. It's just like, sometimes people stray off in a strange way where you're like, dude, what are you thinking? You know what I mean?
Right.
And then you get somebody like Rowan who walks in and he's like this gentle giant. He can play like nobody's business. But if you talk to him, he's the biggest gentleman in the world. You know what I mean? He's from England, though.
Right.
He's a teabag, whatever.
He might actually be he might be being a dick to you. You just don't realize it because you think he's polite. The British have that way about
Well,
him.
he's never said teabag to me, so whatever. No, Rowan's amazing. We're very lucky to have Rowan.
Now, you guys were going balls out in this Florida heat and humidity, and your voice sounded just like it did fucking back in the 80s. Is that just something you're naturally gifted at, or are you one of those singers that actually tries to take care of it and does exercises and the warm-ups?
You really want to answer that? Do you know the answer?
No, I know.
I get on stage and I do what I do.
So it's natural.
I don't do any kind of, calisthenics or anything. I do some warm-ups just so when I come out there, my first note is, are you ready? You know, so it's very, you got to put that power out. But, no, that's just my way. That's just Joe.
Awesome, man.
That's how I am.
So you're an anomaly as well, then?
I guess. I don't know. I don't look at myself in any way, shape, or form as a rock star or anything. I just look at it like I'm very lucky to be able to jam with all these people.
Right. So you guys have any dates coming up throughout the fall?
Yeah. We got the Monsters of Rock cruise coming up. We've got more festivals. We've been doing all these festivals lately, but I guess from what I've been told in the beginning of the year, we're going to start touring. So, you know,
those cruises have become like hugely
very
popular, all of a sudden.
Yeah. Si bueno, my friend.
And any new music dropping anytime soon? You guys writing right now?
Well, Rowan and I have been writing. Rowan and I room together, and it's like those guys will be passed out, and it'll be 5 in the morning. We're still listening to like trying to take apart Led Zeppelin songs and Jimi Hendrix and Van Morrison, and him and I listen to the old stuff. A lot of Rolling Stones, you know. So Rowan and I are just like two people that were meant to be, you know. And I'm very fortunate. And Ronnie, I met Ronnie when Rowan was with him, so it just feels like the right fit. Even though I'm not like a Ronnie James Dio guy. Hell, I look at him and I go, what's it like being in a band with me? Ronnie stood there with that powerful voice and the majesty of it all. And then you got me running around like David Lee Roth and Mick Jagger. And he goes, I love it, mate. So I'm very lucky.
Were you a big Steven Tyler fan?
You know, I used to be in the 70s. I'm older.
Yeah, the good shit.
And a lot of like days. But you know, it's crazy because if everybody always looks at me and goes, "Man, you must have been a big Tyler fan. You move, act." And I'm like, and when I met him, you ready for this? He looked at me and goes, "Son," and I go, "Dad." And he was the nicest guy to me, but I think Steven Tyler is amazing, but I'm more of an old school, like, you know, Black, you know, Sam Cooke and Van Morrison, and then I love Led Zeppelin and the Rolling Stones, you know what I mean? Aerosmith, I think, is awesome, you know, especially Toys in the Attic and Rocks, but, you know, I could hit the notes and I could do it all, but I just love that old school blues feeling, you know what I mean?
Awesome.
Yeah. Even though I don't perform that on stage, but I could if I, you know.
There's your mates right there.
There's my band right there.
Right.
Look at it.
Flicking buttons at you.
You talk about an ugly group of guys. I put together the most ugly group of guys. You want to know why?
Make you look better.
Make me look better.
All right. Well
I look at them and I go, Rowan goes, how's my hair? I go, you're fucked, dude, but I look amazing.
All right, man, this has been fun. Thanks for taking a few minutes with us.
Thank you so much for having me, guys, and I hope everything's good, and peace out and love to everybody.
All right.